Well, I was born over at Piedmont Park. My father bought a Texaco filling station in Greer in 1944, and we moved here. I got a paper route that same year, the Greenville Piedmont. So I started to work when I was 12 years old. After that, I started installing TVs and antennas for my father. He was in the appliance business by then. Then I went to work at John Robinson's filling station, washing cars and lubing cars. And I did that for about a year. And then in 1953, I went for the really big money and went to work for J.P. Stevens out at Greer Mill on the third shift, Dolphin Cloth, when I was in the 11th grade. And I just hated that job. It was hard work, and about once a month they threatened to fire me. And I was constantly looking for something else to do. But anyway, I found this old 49 Chevy cab-over truck in Greer. It was old Anchor's Motor Line Convoy that hauled 4 cars. That's all they hauled back in the 50s. But I went to talk to a friend of mine about us buying that truck and going in the trucking business. The guy wanted $1,000 for it. So I borrowed $500 at the Bank of Greer, and he put in $500. And I set out for Philadelphia the next week. And this venture was doomed for failure, because I was only 17 years old. I'd never driven an 18-wheeler before, and I'd never been out of South Carolina. So every week that truck tore up, and every week I was calling him for money. And after about 6 weeks, I owed him more than we paid for the truck. And he told me he just wanted out of the trucking business, that he was just through with it. So I drove the truck on for about 18 months, and I paid him off, paid the Bank of Greer off. I sold the truck for $1,200. And I caught the train that night to Philadelphia to buy my own cars. I got married in August of '56, and after that I started thinking about opening up a retail used car lot. So I opened a lot up here on Poinsett Street, January '57, when I was 19 years old. And then in 1964, Chrysler came to me, wanting me to take the Chrysler Plymouth franchise for this area. In '65, I built this new building right down here, right down the street from where we're at now. It's been a great life. I've really enjoyed it. Car business is fun. We've been very successful. Our Chrysler store here is the #1 store in South Carolina, practically every month and every year. I have a boy and a girl and 5 grandchildren. We have 4 stores in the family. The one in Spartanburg belongs to my son. Then we have this one here in Greer. We have 2 in Easley that my son-in-law runs. I bought my first antique car in 1965 after I became a Chrysler dealer, and it's back in my Chrysler museum. It's that little 36 Chrysler Airstream convertible. Since then, over 50 years, I bought and sold a lot of antique cars, but I really got serious about collecting about 10 years ago. And I built this museum 5 years ago to house them. This will be our 4th year. And we've raised about $195,000 for Meals on Wheels here in the last 3 years. The car show has just exploded. Last year we had 300 cars at the show. We had 170 runners, 100 of them were kids. That's who we're going after, the kids in these schools. The people, our donors, we invite them here to the museum every year to a party to show our appreciation, and we have a name band and a dinner here. So we usually entertain about 100 donors here every year for that. The key to my success has been that I love what I do. And I think that's the most important thing. When anybody goes in business, pick something you like to do. And once you do it, go at it 100%. Don't go in it halfway. Make sure you're committing the time and the resources that it's going to take to make that business survive. Hard work, finding something that you love to do, be total honest with your employees and with your customers, and work at it like there's no tomorrow. Entrepreneur is anybody that takes something and makes a success out of it. And you know, a lot of people, they go in business and they think overnight they're going to be a success. But when you go in business, it's like raising a child. You got to nurture it. It takes time and energy and resources. And sometimes it's years before you'll be successful. But in the end, it's worth it. I am not in the class with the rest of the people that's been inducted, and that's okay. But it shows that people that get up every day, they work hard, they try to do right by their fellow man, can get into this forum, and that's a good thing. Greenville Tech is one of the greatest assets that we have in the upstate today. They take these kids that's never earned a paycheck before, and they teach them job skills that they can go out and earn a living, even start their own business. They train people for any industry that sets up here that needs people. Greenville Tech is a very, very valuable asset. There's no doubt about that. I just want to thank Greenville Tech for nominating me for their support. Got a lot of good friends over there. It's a great institution, and I'm certainly going to continue to support it the rest of my life.